On Leafs News Fan Report, the question hanging in the air is this. With the playoffs right around the corner, is Craig Berube about to make a decision that could shake the foundation of the Maple Leafs roster and maybe cost the development of a young prospect? Recent reports suggest that Max Pacioretty, despite his injuries, might be locked into the playoff lineup. This sounds like a second chance for the veteran, but for Nick Robertson, it could mean the bench or even a definitive exit. And here's the dilemma. Is it really worth giving up on a young and promising piece for a player who hasn't shown he's 100%? Robertson didn't post exciting numbers this season, just 19 points in 61 games. But at 23 years old, he holds potential and had already drawn interest from several teams before the trade deadline. Pacioretty, on the other hand, has 13 points in 37 games and carries the confidence of someone who's been clutch before. But will that be enough? This debate goes beyond stats. It involves chemistry, team dynamics, and even the mindset of a player who could be missing out on one of the biggest opportunities of his career. Could shaking up that balance now impact playoff performance? And what if the decision isn't just technical? What if it's part of a larger strategic plan, one that includes trading Robertson soon? The question becomes, what would the Leafs be willing to accept in return? An immediate reinforcement or a future bet? And just as the speculation starts to settle, another name emerges as a possible target for Toronto, Dylan Cozens. Young, talented, but carrying a heavy contract and still trying to regain last season's form. Sources point to interest from several teams, including the Leafs, but there's one massive obstacle, the rivalry with the Buffalo Sabres. Trading for a rising star from a direct rival? It seems unlikely, but not impossible. On top of that, the doubt remains, is Cozens the right fit for the Leaf system right now? Or would it be wiser to aim for someone like Brock Nelson, more experienced and with immediate impact? The dilemma is set. Bet on veterans with experience but clear risks, or stick with young players who might break out, possibly away from Toronto? And you, Leafs fan, do you think the Leafs should stick with Pacioretty and go after Cozens despite all the risks? Or would it be better to keep Robertson and look for more realistic options on the market? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to know what you would do if you were in the front office. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to Leafs News Fan Report. Hit that like button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any hot updates from behind the scenes of the NHL. Because trust us, the next few days promise twists and turns, and you'll want to stay in the loop. And while the debate over Pacioretty's possible return and Robertson's potential exit continues to divide opinions, behind the scenes in Toronto are heating up. The Leafs coaching staff is facing a decision that's not just tactical, it's symbolic. Betting on a veteran like Pacioretty, even with his injury history and limited performance this season, represents trust in the now, an immediate impact, and the value of experience in big games. But the doubt remains, will this gamble deliver the expected return? On the other hand, Nick Robertson represents the future. A player who knows the Leaf system, who has shown flashes of talent, and who can still grow a lot. And more than that, he represents an emotional investment. For the fans, seeing a homegrown talent being pushed aside in a decisive moment might feel like a breach of trust. And for the player himself, it could be a hard blow, affecting not only his morale but his development and even his future in Toronto. Behind the scenes, the rumors are only growing. Sources close to the organization reveal that Robertson's name is still circulating among executives from other teams, even after the trade deadline. That means if he loses his spot now, an off-season move is almost inevitable. And here comes the big question. Will the Leafs be able to capitalize on his value, or will they just be handing away a piece that could shine elsewhere? Meanwhile, Dylan Cozens' shadow continues to hover. The young Sabres center is seen by many as an ideal piece to strengthen the Leafs' offensive depth, but the price is steep, financially and in terms of assets. Buffalo wants immediate return, an impact player, and Toronto is hesitant to dismantle the roster right as they're aiming for a deep playoff run. Furthermore, the Leaf-Sabres rivalry complicates any negotiation. Just imagine seeing Cozens shine on the ice in Toronto blue, facing off against the team that developed him. For Buffalo, that's a political and sporting risk that's hard to justify. But as we've seen in the NHL, where there's smoke, there might be fire, and seemingly unlikely deals sometimes go through when the pressure's on. Meanwhile, the name Brock Nelson, veteran of the Islanders, is gaining traction as a Plan B, lower cost, immediate impact, shorter contract. A player built for the playoffs, ready to deliver from the first shift. The question is, would the Islanders be willing to let him go, especially amid a good winning streak. All of this brings us to a crossroads. The Leafs are facing a decision that goes beyond statistics or medical reports. We're talking about the team's identity. Will they be a team that risks it all for the present, or one that protects its future? Now it's your turn, Leafs fan. If you were Brad Treliving, which path would you take? Would you bet on Pacioretty's experience and trade Robertson? Or keep the young player in the lineup and look for more strategic, future-focused options? Leave your comment and let's talk about it. And don't forget, if you enjoy this kind of content and want to stay up to date with everything going on in the Leafs world, subscribe now to Leafs News Fan Report. Smash the like button, turn on the bell, and share with other fans who live and breathe this team. Because what's coming could change everything. And now, let me open my heart as a Leafs fan. Seeing Nick Robertson's name being floated as a possible rotation cut, especially now, is frustrating. We've followed this kid's journey, seen how he battled injuries, adapted, and dealt with pressure since arriving in the NHL. And even if he hasn't broken out yet, you can feel he's close to something big. He has that fire you can't teach, the kind of player who, if he leaves now, might become a star elsewhere, and we'll be stuck wondering, why didn't we give him time? On the other hand, I get the appeal of putting Pacioretty in. Playoff experience matters, especially when the ice heats up and the game becomes a war. But honestly, if the guy isn't 100%, if he's not delivering on the ice, having a name and a resume isn't enough. What wins games is effort, chemistry, and rhythm. If I had to decide now, I bet on Robertson. Not just for the future, but because he knows the team, his teammates, and still has something to prove. Give him the chance to shine when it matters most. And if it doesn't work, then we think about making changes. But that's my take as a fan. Now I want to hear yours. What would you do if you were in Berube or Treliving's shoes? Because in the end, this isn't just about stats or coaching decisions. It's about the team's DNA. It's about building an identity, one of courage, vision, and belief in the foundation being built. And if we don't make room now for someone who might be part of that future, then when? Nick Robertson might not be a superstar yet, but he has something no stat chart shows: hunger. And in the playoffs, that can make all the difference. Meanwhile, Pacioretty needs to prove he's still got gas in the tank. Experience is valuable, yes, but only if it comes with real impact on the ice. And as for the Dylan Cousins saga, look, he's talented, no doubt. But honestly, I think the Leafs need to think more clearly. Putting so many resources into a player who hasn't shown consistency and carries a heavy contract could end up locking the team up down the road. If we're going all in for the playoffs, it has to be with a clear plan, without compromising what's being built. Now it's your turn, fan. Do you agree with this view? Do you think the Leafs are about to make a mistake by betting on an injured veteran and sidelining a promising young player? Or do you believe this is the experience the team needs to finally take the leap? Comment below. I want to hear your opinion. And if you made it this far, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the Leafs News Fan Report channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss a single update. The final stretch of the season is just beginning, and the coming weeks promise big emotions, so stay tuned with us. And if you want to dive even deeper into the Leafs backstage world, click the video right here to keep following everything that could happen before the next crucial matchup. Let's go on this journey to glory together.